All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast, or you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Schiavone of All Elite Wrestling, and this is Tru Heel Heat, and I said it right, you motherfuckers.
Alright, ready when you are.
Hey guys, I may have go away heat, but these guys have Tru Heel Heat. So you better listen to the podcast or else I'm gonna kick you in your fucking cock and balls.
I'll get it.
Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SB3. I am live on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, as well as our Tru Heel Heat Facebook and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat Check number 14, previewing the NBA playoffs 2025 as only we can. And of course, to do that, I'm riding solo. I was supposed to do this with Chris G maybe like a couple of days ago, but we couldn't get the timing right. It's been a busy WrestleMania week for us over at Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel. We've had live streams pretty much every day of the week this week, so I had to squeeze in this time to talk about the NBA playoffs with all of you. So appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your NBA fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the live chat if you're with us live. You can also sound off in the comment section if you're watching us on demand. Appreciate y'all either way showing some love to what we do here, Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment. We got some live streams, some weekly shows that we do over here usually. I know this week has been a light week for the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel. I think the last stream that I did over here was for Daredevil Born Again, Season 1, Episode 8. We'll be doing a season finale review for Daredevil Born Again, most likely tomorrow. Sometime tomorrow we'll be doing that. We'll also be doing for Power. We got a lot of catching up to do for Power. We got to review episodes 6 and 7 for Raising Cain in season 4. So we'll be doing that. Chrissy Love is back from her vacation pretty soon, so we'll be catching up on that as well. But I had to talk about some NBA playoffs. It's been a rough weekend for me in the NBA world. As you see from my headline here, I'm a depressed Laker fan after we got washed. We got washed. No better way for me to say it. We got washed in our first matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Of course, in my cocky Laker state, I was saying Ant-Man, Batman, Frosty the Snowman, Lakers in 5. I was saying Rudy Gobert, Rudy Huxtable, Rudy Poo, Lakers in 5, and Minnesota Timberwolves, um, the American Wolves, Samoan Werewolves, Lakers in 5. It's not looking like Lakers in 5. It's looking like Lakers in 6 or 7 because the Minnesota Timberwolves shot us out of the gym. Hit 21 threes yesterday against my Los Angeles Lakers in Los Angeles. LeBron James was looking quite lethargic out there. Even JJ Redick called his ass out, called out the team for not having the energy, not waking up, not realizing that this is the damn playoffs and you got to play hard. You got to wake the hell up. So I can take the L. I can accept that L. Hopefully we come out with more energy in game 2, but we're going to talk about all of the playoffs. So let me know, well, who's your favorite team or what matchups you're looking forward to see. I'm just going to give you plain and simple predictions for all these series going all the way to the NBA Finals and who I think will win this year's NBA Finals. I did predictions at the beginning of the year. That would be over on Fightful Overbooked, where me and Jeremy Lambert had FMC, where we gave our season predictions at the beginning of the season. We did not do that for Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment this year. Like I said, me and Chris G is working all the time. I'm working. I do writing. I do the podcast over on Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel and Fightful Overbooked. So I've been busy myself, so I definitely understand where Chris G is coming from. Plus, we both got kids out in this street. But let's talk about the NBA playoffs. Here is the bracket for the NBA playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about the play-in tournament, which over on the West saw the Golden State Warriors defeating the Memphis Grizzlies to be the 7th seed. That means the Golden State Warriors will be facing the Houston Rockets in a 2-7 matchup, a very interesting 2-7 matchup. Then you also had the number 9 seed Sacramento Kings went down to the number 10 seed Dallas Mavericks. It was Dallas versus Memphis, but Memphis was able to pick up the victory there to become the 8th seed. So that was the Western Conference side of the brackets for the play-in. Then over on the Eastern Conference, you had in the 7-8 matchup, the Orlando Magic dominated the Atlanta Hawks, getting so many blocks, keeping them under 100 points to become the 7th seed. They faced the Boston Celtics. And then in the 9-10 matchup, I was calling for the Chicago Bulls. I thought the Chicago Bulls would keep up the momentum that they had at the end of the season. That did not happen. Davion Mitchell with a big game pulled out the win for the Miami Heat. And once again, Davion Mitchell came in clutch against the number 8 seed Atlanta Hawks. So the Miami Heat went from the number 10 seed all the way to an 8th seed matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm just going to say, I think that this magical run for them is about to end. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference. So very quickly, we'll talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. I do want to pull up the scores for yesterday because I strictly pay attention to my Lakers matchup. I was not able to watch that game live because it was on at the same time as I was working and covering the WrestleMania event, WrestleMania Night 1. So I wasn't able to watch. I was kind of watching it on my phone a little bit, but after we were getting washed for a bit, I was like, yeah, I think I'm just going to pay attention to WrestleMania a bit here. But yeah, we had a couple of game ones. We had 4 game ones yesterday that went down with the Pacers pulling off an upset on the road. No, was it on the road? No, I think it was no, it wasn't on the road. It was at home, pulling off the win over the Milwaukee Bucks, 117-98. Milwaukee Bucks are going to be shorthanded. Damian Lillard is out for the first couple of weeks of the playoffs with the blood clot. He might miss this entire series. Then you got the Denver Nuggets in a very close game, pulled out the win over the Clippers, came from behind to pull out the win over the Clippers in overtime, 112-110. The New York Knicks also came from behind against the Detroit Pistons, 123-110. 112. And of course, the aforementioned Lakers getting shot out the gym. Minnesota Timberwolves hitting 21 threes, including 11 threes in the first half, which was a franchise record, 21 threes in one game. And this is kind of like JJ Redick's problem. JJ Redick, throughout the season, his whole model in defense has been pack the paint, don't let anything inside, and let them shoot threes. You can't do that with a team that's as proficient at hitting the three ball as the Minnesota Timberwolves has been this year. Anthony Edwards is averaging over 40% from three. He's really improved his jump shot to become one of the more prolific three-point scorers in the NBA today. So they're going to have to readjust, and that's what all the playoffs is about. It's about readjustments and, going on the fly, but they also dominated us on the defensive end and kept us under 100 points. Luka Doncic, he played well. He had 27 points, but LeBron James, I don't know where he was at. He definitely looked like he was tired. Then you had earlier today, the Oklahoma City Thunder. 51-point wash of the Memphis Grizzlies in game one. This seems like a sign of things to come with them. And we got Boston Celtics and the Orlando Magic is on right now. I have that in a different tab here that I was watching the game just before came on here. That's why I came on a little bit late. It's a close game right now. It's 47-46. The Orlando Magic is up by 1 right now. So it's a good matchup here so far in game one for that one. So just wanted to go through those scores with y'all here before we give our predictions on the bracket. But like I said, let's start off with the right side of the bracket, the Eastern Conference. In the 1-8 matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Miami Heat. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference for a reason. They got the lead in Donovan Mitchell. Their defense is so good with Jared Allen leading the pack. Evan Mobley was a defensive player of the year candidate, probably arguably my defensive player of the year for this year. And they have a whole bunch of role players that have played very well. DeAndre Hunter was a great pickup for them in the trade deadline, and he's really played well for them. So I got the Cleveland Cavaliers beating a game Miami Heat. I think I'll get I'm sorry, Miami Heat. You kind of used all your juice to get here, going from a 10 seed to the 8th seed. So I'm calling for a sweep. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers win in a sweep 4-0 matchup there. Then we'll go to the 4-5 matchup of the aforementioned Indiana Pacers and Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo has had a great year on the defensive end. Offensively, he's played really well as well, but they just don't have anything around him. I feel bad for the guy because he has a co-star in Damian Lillard, but he's either not been on the court with him, or when he is on the court with him, they haven't played exactly well. Like he has a better plus minus does Damian Lillard when Giannis is on the bench than when he's on the court with him, which is very weird that you have these two superstar players that you would think would work well with each other that just couldn't. So I think that Giannis is going to ball out, but he just has nothing around him. Like Kyle Kuzma in game one, he played 22 minutes, had a zero double, a zero triple double. Then you had Brook Lopez only had 9. All their scoring outside of Giannis came off the bench with AJ Green, Gary Trent, and Kevin Porter Jr. I think they combined for like 41 points for them. So I think that's gonna be what we see for the rest of the series. And Indiana Pacers have one of the deeper teams, especially their starting lineup. I think is really well. Nembhard has played really well. Benjamin Mathurin has played great off the bench, but they have the leader in Tyrese Halliburton. They got someone who has so much playoff experience, like Pascal Siakam, who had 25 points and 7 rebounds in game one. I think that the Pacers should handily beat this one. I'm going to give Giannis one game, but he just doesn't have anything around him for me to be confident to go to say it's going to be a 6-game series. I think I'm taking the Pacers in 5 games. So then we go to the 3-6 matchup, which is the New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons. Pistons played well in the first half in game 1, but they just don't have everything that they need to kind of keep up when the Knicks are one of the better clutch scorers, scoring teams in the NBA, and they have the best clutch player in the NBA, arguably, in Jalen Brunson. I think the combination of Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, which has really been getting the Paul Heyman booking of concentrating on his strengths and hiding his weaknesses ever since he got traded to the Knicks at the beginning of the season. OG Anunoby played great in game 1, 23 points and 7 rebounds, and he's a defensive expert. Josh Hart does all the dirty work for them. So they're so deep. Mikal Bridges not played the best for them, but they got some scoring off the bench with McBride and Payne, who usually can contribute for them. And the Detroit Pistons are so young, so I can't really have the confidence that I wish I could have. Cade Cunningham has been one of the more great turnarounds that he had this season and really proven himself as a leader. But it's just defensively and in the half court, I don't know if I can trust the Detroit Pistons against this well-experienced New York Knicks team. So I'm going to take the Knicks in 6 games. I am going to give Detroit some credit because they had one of the best turnarounds. JB Bickerstaff is up there as far as coach of the year, probably is going to be the coach of the year for the turnaround that they did, going from a record losses to a number 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. They deserve all the credit in the world, but I got to take the Knicks in 6. And then finally, in the first round for the Eastern Conference, we got the game that's going on right now, the Boston Celtics and Orlando Magic. But Orlando Magic is surprisingly going to be a tougher matchup than a lot of people were putting on. I think that defensively, the Orlando Magic are really impressive. They're led by, of course, on the offensive end by my homie, Pablo Banchero. He does his thing. He's a great scorer. Right now, he has 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists in the first half. You got Franz Wagner, who's a walking double-double at times. He's not playing so well on the boards in this game, but he's got 15 points right now. And they just have a lot of bigs and match up very well with the deeper Boston Celtics. But the Boston Celtics, outside of the Oklahoma City Thunder, is the deepest team in the NBA. I'm not gonna give too much credit to Orlando Magic. I think the Orlando Magic, all the games will be close enough because of their defense. They have a top 5 defense in January, but I'm gonna take the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. They got the experience. They are the reigning champions for a reason. So I'll take them in. I like the Orlando Magic. I want to say 6, but I'm gonna say 5. I got them in 5. All right, let's move over to the Western Conference first round matchups. Oklahoma City Thunder, like I said, 51-point blowout in game 1 over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies letting go Taylor Jenkins in just weeks ahead of the playoffs is one of the more bonehead moves that we've seen in a season filled with bonehead moves, between Nico Harrison trading Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis and pretty much nothing else. No draft capital. That was dumb. That was bonehead move. We'll talk about another bonehead move when we get to the next matchup, but just sticking to just letting go of Taylor Jenkins, that was such a bad move. You got John Morant that's a little banged up after the play-in. I'm going to take the Thunder in a sweep. You don't get a 50-point blowout like that and have me get any confidence that the Memphis Grizzlies are even going to win a game in this damn series. Then let's go to the 4-5 matchup, and this was the other bonehead move ahead of the playoffs, as you got the 4th seed Denver Nuggets going up against the 5th seed Los Angeles Clippers. It was so dumb on the Denver Nuggets part of firing Michael Malone. Just 4 games away from the playoffs. No one was shocked that Mike Malone was losing his job. It's just when you did it, it is so ill-advised, so bonehead, so short-sighted, so tone-deaf. I don't get it at all. You should at least give him the opportunity and give this team the opportunity to go into the playoffs with a coach that they're comfortable with, that the coach that led them this far. It was a bad move, in my opinion, but Alleman has played well, has coached well for the team since he got the head coaching position. So, and you have Nikola Jokic. When you have Nikola Jokic, he's like a fucking cheat code. He's a fucking cheat code. He's a walk-in triple-double. He's a walk-in offensive genius. I think that when you have him and you got the shooting of Michael Porter Jr., you got Aaron Gordon, who's one of the best role players in all of the NBA, and you got Jamal Murray, who usually is able to turn it on quite a bit in the playoffs. That's a great combination. I cannot say enough good words about the Los Angeles Clippers. I try my best to not say any good words about the Los Angeles Clippers, but the Los Angeles Clippers have one of the best coaches in the league in Tyronn Lue. You got Kawhi Leonard, who's been healthy the last couple of months of the regular season, and most of all, you have James Harden, who has had one of the better turnarounds of anyone in the NBA. He's really played as a leader for this team, really being the anchor, driving force for this team, and giving Kawhi Leonard the opportunity to kind of fill the role for him while he's taking like the point position and really dictating the offense. Zubac has been one of the best centers in all of the NBA, which is weird. I think if you told anybody that at the beginning of the season, they would tell you you're a damn liar. But Zubac, former Laker great, he's played well, and he had a great game in game 1 with 21 points and 13 rebounds. He's balled the hell out. You got Powell in there. This is going to be the closest series of any of the first round series, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't see anything going past 6 games in the Eastern Conference. This one right here is a 7-game series, but I'm going to take the Denver Nuggets in 7. We'll skip my Lakers for now. We'll save my Lakers for last. Then we got the 2-7 matchup, the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors. This one is a tough one for me, only because the Houston Rockets has been like one of the big talks of the Western Conference, in my opinion. I think they've played so well, and I called this happening. You can go back in time to the FMC. We were doing hottest take, and one of my hottest takes, I believe back in like December, was that the Houston Rockets would be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference. It's crazy how accurate that call was, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy my call was so well, and they have been one of the best defensive teams out there. Amen Thompson has really forged his path in being a great perimeter defender. Sugyun, all their big men, Steven Adams, they work so well. They work on the boards. They're very defensive minded. You got veterans like Van Fleet in there. Jalen Green, he can have his off games. He's a little bit inconsistent, but you got Dylan Brooks, who's a defensive dog out there. And yeah, they just are so good on defense. I think they have a top 10 defense in all of the NBA. But they're facing the veterans of the Golden State Warriors. And what a turnaround the Golden State Warriors have had since they got Jimmy Butler. You got 2 dogs on your defensive end with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. Draymond Green really stepped up. He's going to get some late votes for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't think he was the Defensive Player of the Year, but he's going to get some late consideration for how good their defense has been since Jimmy Butler came on board. But the Batman and Robin combination of Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, it's kind of scary in the playoffs. I think that it might be just too early for the Rockets to verse a team like that. So I am going to go with the Golden State Warriors pulling off the upset. This is another one that I'm probably going to say, I'm going to take 6 games. I'm sorry, I can't even go 7. No, you know what? Since it is going to be an upset, I'll go 7 games. I'll take the Golden State Warriors in 7 games over the Rockets here. I might live to regret that one, but I'm going to take them at 7. We got my homie Davion in the chat. Good to see you, Davion. He says, sorry, SP3, but go Wolves. You better be from Minnesota. You better have shooting in the gym when they had Wally Zerviak. You better have been shooting in the gym when they had Joe Smith. unless you're just here to troll me and root against the Lakers, which I don't like. I don't like that at all. But I gotta respect the Minnesota Timberwolves. My joke prediction was Lakers in 5. Real prediction has to come out now because we got knocked on our ass in game 1. So let's talk about the 3-6 matchup, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, you got to put some respect on their name. You got to show some respect to these guys. These guys can shoot you out the gym. That's what they did to the Lakers in game 1. You got Anthony Edwards, who's one of the best scorers in all of the NBA, and he is a freaking threat in the playoffs. And the Minnesota Timberwolves have done this time and time again. They punched the Phoenix Suns in the mouth and beat them in the first round last year. Then they went up to the Denver Nuggets and punched them in the mouth and pulled off the upset against the reigning NBA champions in last year's playoffs. And then they ran into Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks and they lost. So coming into this matchup against Luka again, Anthony Edwards got a chip on his shoulder, and he's trying to prove something. Luka was a liability in that game 1, so we gotta find the switches. We gotta get a good defender on Anthony Edwards. Find him when he's on the perimeter. Make sure we have a hand in his face every time he's launching from 27, 29 feet. There was too many clean looks for Anthony Edwards in game 1, and that cannot happen. That was unacceptable. We need more energy. We need more defensive-minded play. We need LeBron James to be LeBron James. We need him to put up 25 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. We need Luka Doncic to put up 30 points, 7 and 7. And we need the defensive. We need our Vandos. We need our Dorian Finney-Smith. We need our Austin Reeves to step up. We have to play at top notch and top form against this Memphis Grizzlies to make a difference here. My original prediction, like I said, joke prediction was Lakers in 5 because that's the gimmick. Shannon Sharp, shout out to you. But my actual prediction was Lakers in 6. So we lost one at home. We'll probably lose one in Minnesota. We have to win game 2. I want us to win game 2 and game 3. I'll give them one in Minnesota, game 4, but I think that then we beat them back-to-back, Los Angeles, Minnesota, finish it up in 6. Lakers in 6 is my prediction. Dear God, please, don't let us get the 3 seed and get smacked in the mouth like freaking Phoenix and Denver did last year. So that is the first round of the NBA playoffs. Second round, we'll go over to the Eastern Conference here. So I had the Cavs over the Miami Heat in 4. I had the Pacers over the Bucks in 5. Pacers versus Cleveland Cavaliers. This one is going to be a closer matchup than a lot of people think. The Pacers just last year made it to the conference finals. They're really strong. They're really good. Like I said, the combination of Tyrese Halliburton, who's a great floor general, Pascal Siakam, who has just been the perfect number 2 for so many different people, whether it be Kawhi Leonard, whether it be right now with Tyrese Halliburton. He's just blended so well with this Indiana Pacers team. They're going to give the Cleveland Cavaliers some trouble. I think this is a series that I'll say goes 6 games. They're going to punch the Cleveland Cavaliers in the mouth a few times, but Cleveland has 2. They're very deep. I don't think they get enough credit for how deep they are, and their starting 5 may be among the best in all of the NBA. But when you have a guy like Donovan Mitchell who could take over, when you have a defensive anchor like Evan Mobley, combine him with another great big in Jared Allen, I will take, and you got Darius Garland who can put up some numbers. He's a 20-point scorer. He averages like 7-8 assists. I will take the Cleveland Cavaliers in 6 there. Then in the bottom half, we got the New York Knicks number 3 seed versus the Boston Celtics number 2 seed. This one should be a good one. This one should be a doozy. I'm going to predict that's a 7-game series. Jalen Brunson, he is coming into these playoffs with a chip on his shoulder. He feels like he got hurt. The Knicks team got hurt last season, and they would have made it to the conference finals to face the Boston Celtics if they didn't have their injuries. Excuse me a minute. if they didn't have their injuries, they definitely would have been in the conference finals. I think that they would have been able to overcome the Indiana Pacers and make it to the conference finals. And now they get their chance to prove that as they go one against the Boston Celtics. And maybe in another world, in another timeline, the Knicks would have made it to the NBA finals, and who knows what would have happened then. But this year, with Karl Anthony Towns by his side, with all the role players that I talked about before, your OG Ananobis, your Josh Harts, they're going to give Boston some trouble in round two. Boston Celtics might be in a little bit of cruise control because they played so well in the regular season. I don't think they took it as seriously as they could have. They had a great regular season, don't get me wrong, and Jason Tatum is a top 5. He's going to be all NBA first team. Jaylen Brown was the NBA Finals MVP. You got your Porzingis, you got your Drew Holiday, you got Al Horford, they're so deep. I can't say that anybody's going to beat them in the Eastern Conference, to be serious with you. So, but I do think that the Knicks are going to be a lot more trouble than people are letting on. I know in a lot of the other predictions that I've seen, people have said Boston in 6. I think this is a 7-game series. I'm going to take the Boston Celtics in 7. Going back to the Western Conference, we got up top Oklahoma City Thunder, 1st seed versus the 4th seed Denver Nuggets. This is going to be the first real test for the Oklahoma City Thunder in the playoffs. I think that when you have someone like Jokic who could just take over a game offensively the way that he can, it's going to be difficult for them. The Oklahoma City Thunder, though, they have the big men that can compete with the Jokic, and they can throw so many different looks at them. They could throw Isaiah Hartenstein at him. They can throw Chet Holmgren at him. They can try to mix it up and have someone a little bit kind of a power forward at them, so they can switch things up. They can make it a little bit difficult for him. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think the key here is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and the fact that I don't think Jamal Murray or any of the perimeter players for the Denver Nuggets can compete with him. I think he's going to average like 30 points against them. This is not one that I think is going to go 7 games, though. I think this one is a 6-game series. I'm going to give Jokic that much respect that he gets 2 games for them, but the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to put them away to make it to the conference finals. Then we got in the bottom half, you got the Lakers coming out of 6-game series with Minnesota. Please don't let it be 7. Shit, I think I just jinxed them. But 6-game series with the Minnesota Timberwolves versus my upset pick for the first round of the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors. Golden State versus the Lakers. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry versus LeBron James and Luka Doncic. That is going to be a series. That one, I will say, go 7. That's a 7-game series if I ever seen one. But I'm not going to predict 7. I'm not going to predict 7. That has 7-game series written all over it, but I will take the Lakers in 6. I'll take the Lakers in 6 only because we got the third option that I think that either one of these teams can rely on to be a consistent scorer, 20-point scorer, going to show a lot of energy on the offense and defensive side of the ball. That's Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is the difference maker, and this is a much better matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers than the Minnesota Timberwolves because they don't really have the bigs. And Steph Curry is going to make his threes, but they're not the best 3-point shooting team overall. It's really Steph Curry is the rising tide for the Golden State Warriors. So I think that JJ Redick can play the style of defense that he wants to play with the Los Angeles Lakers. So I will take the Lakers in 6 against the Golden State Warriors. Lakers, yes, go into the conference finals. So let's talk about the conference finals on the Eastern side. It is the one that everybody's been talking about for months now. It is the Boston Celtics 2 seed versus the 1st seed, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland Cavaliers, man, all the respect in the world to them. They are not a fluke number 1 seed. And just if they don't make it to the NBA finals, let's not allow anyone to have that conversation. Oh, they're a fluke. They didn't make it to the NBA finals, oh, they were just a regular season team. No, if they make it to the conference finals, they had more than a great regular season. They had a tremendous regular season. They're a really good team. They exceeded all the expectations going into this season. I think they were a fifth seed last season, and then jumped all the way up to the first seed. They were on pace for like 70 games at one point. They were great in the regular season. So don't get anything twisted. Don't get anything wrong there. All that to say, the Boston Celtics are going to win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I can't go against the NBA champions. Like, you got Jason Tatum, you got your Jaylen Brown. They are so deep, 1 through 5. I didn't even mention Derek White earlier in the show, and he's like the glue guy for that team. Joe Mazzulla has been a very reliable coach for them. I'm going to take the Boston Celtics in 6 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, I think the Knicks have more of a chip on their shoulder and are going to be more fired up for that matchup to make that a 7-game series. This could be a 7-game series, but I just have more confidence in the Boston Celtics, and I think that Cleveland will be kind of worn down from the matchup with Indiana. Despite it not going, I don't think it's going to go 7 games, and I think the Knicks are going to take the Boston Celtics 7 games. I don't know. I just have a feeling this is going to be a 6-game series. Then on the left side, this is also why I'm a depressed Lakers fan. You got the Lakers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Before I do that, Remorse Betrayal is in the chat. Good to see you, Remorse Betrayal. He says, can we laugh at the Mavs? Of course we can. Of course we can. They were stupid. Nico Harrison, Executive of the Year, in my opinion. But I'm a Laker fan, so I don't get a vote. He's my Executive of the Year because he helped us out tremendously. Appreciate you, Nico Harris, my Executive of the Year. Praise be Nico Harrison. But yeah, Remorse Betrayal. It's so dumb. It's so dumb to trade Luka Doncic at 25 years old because you think he's fat, because you don't think he's gonna sign the Supermax deal. What? Huh? Trying to save money? I don't like when billionaires be broke boys. That's not cool. That's not cool in my book. But yeah, laugh at the Mavericks. He says it's worse when you get nothing. Yeah. I mean, I like Anthony Marshawn Davis. That's my boy. NBA champion. All right, fair. He said no offense to AD. Fair. But they got it's not that they didn't get anything. They did get Anthony Davis. They didn't get any draft capital, and then they didn't make the playoffs. That's the double whammy, the double. We got to see what happens next season. Hopefully Kyrie is going to be back for the start of the season. I think he's probably going to miss the first couple of games of next season, and then he'll be back by like November, December. But hopefully we see how this team can play together. We get Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving on the court together next season. But yeah, you can laugh at the Mavs all y'all want for not making the playoffs this season. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Los Angeles Lakers, the 1-3 matchup. I think this is going to be a tougher series for the Oklahoma City Thunder than they're probably prepared for. I think the Lakers, when you have 2 supercomputers as your leaders in LeBron James at 40 years old and Luka Doncic at 25, it's going to be a problem offensively. It's going to be tough, and they'll figure out a way to break down this all-time defense that we've seen from the Thunder. All that saying, it is an all-time defense. It is one of the deepest teams in the NBA. And like I said, I did predictions at the beginning of the season for this season. This was before anyone even had a clue that Luka Doncic would be on the Los Angeles Lakers. I would have had the Los Angeles Lakers much higher if I knew we were going to get Luka Doncic. I had us as an 8 seed at the start of the regular season, and we wound up being a 3 seed. And a lot of that is down to JJ Redick being a quite exceptional coach for a first-year coach, and the fact that we got Luka Doncic. So I'll give us 6 games. But I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to the NBA Finals. They have had an all-time, they're top 9 in all the defensive categories, including, I think, they're They're number one in 9 different defensive categories. This is an all-time defensive regular season, and they put the brakes on the Memphis Grizzlies in game 1 of the NBA playoffs. I think that is going to translate. Like I said, I think they're going to have a hard time with Jokic, and I gave Jokic 2 games. The combination of Luka and LeBron, they could push it to a 7-game series, but at the end of the day, they're way too deep. They're way too good defensively and offensively for that matter. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP. I don't care what y'all say. Jokic is the offensive player of the year. If the NBA wants to create an offensive player of the year, great. Jokic will win that every fucking season. But he is not the most valuable player. The most valuable player is not just great on offense, he's great on defense, and he is valuable to your team. I don't think J-Dub would be an all-star if he wasn't next to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I just don't. I think where Shai moves, how Shai moves, that's how the team moves. He's one of the best drivers in all of the NBA, one of the best scoring guards in all of the NBA, and he's great defensively. I think he's like a top 4 defensive rating. I think he's number 1 in steals. This guy's had a ridiculous season. I'm going to give the Oklahoma City Thunder the nod, and I say they win in 6 games. We got Remorse Betrayal who says, silly question, is LeBron the longest tenured player of all time? Let's see. I'll actually look it up live on air. Longest tenured NBA player of all time. How are we going to show him? Is as simple a Google search. It's Vince Carter with 22 seasons. I think that LeBron has tied him this season. LeBron is tied with Vince Carter. So if he makes it one more season, he will get the nod as the longest tenured player of all time. And based on how he looked this season, I think he's going to do one more season. So he's going to get that record. 23 seasons would be the longest tenured player of all time. It's not a silly question. It's a good question because I had to look it up. So it is a good question. And Remorse Betrayal says, I would have gone with Denver, but the only good player is Jokic, and they fired their coach with 4 games left. Remorse Betrayal. So yeah, can't go with Denver. Yeah, guys gotta stop sleeping on the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was my pick at the beginning of the season. I'm gonna ride with my pick even over my own team, and I'm gonna say Oklahoma City Thunder in 6. So that would make the NBA playoffs, the NBA finals would be my finals prediction at the beginning of the season. See, I stick to what I knows. And I said the 2 deepest teams in the NBA at the beginning of the season was the Oklahoma City, the 1 seed in the Western Conference, the Boston Celtics, the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. I think that's your NBA Finals matchup. I love Boston. No, I don't. I hate Boston. Let's be real. I'm a Lakers fan. I can't ever love Boston. I do love Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a player after my own heart. He's a wing who wants to play like Kobe, wants to show that Mamba mentality. He's a great scorer, whether it be from the mid-range, from the 3. I love Joe Mazzulla, just gives him open range to shoot as many 3s as possible. And he's a great defender. He doesn't get enough credit for his defensive IQ and how he always knows where to be in the right spot and keep in front of his man. He knows when his man's going to go left. He plays baseline very well. I think that Jason Tatum is a phenomenal player, and he is, like I said, an all-NBA player in my opinion. I think he's going to make the all-NBA team this season. And Jaylen Brown is another disrespected guy. There's never been a more disrespected championship duo than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, homegrown at that as well. Like you've seen for most of these brackets, whenever I say something good about one team and I'm just not focusing on the other team, that means I'm going for the other team. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and I'll take them in 7. I think this is the only series of the entire playoffs that's going to go 7 for the Oklahoma City Thunder, only because I respect the Boston Celtics that much as NBA champions. Boston Celtics have the best chance of any repeat team in since Golden State Warriors in 2018, and they went back to the NBA Finals in 2019 and lost to the Toronto Raptors, and a lot of that was down to Kevin Durant getting injured. I hope that neither one of these teams suffer that kind of injury that takes one of their key players out, because this would be one of the best NBA Finals in quite some time. I think this could go down as one of the best NBA Finals since Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors in 2016. These teams would match up so well. You got Shea, you got Chet, you got J-Dub, you got that deep team with Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein and Jay Will, and they got so many different players that plays well. Andrew Wiggins, they're so deep. Man, they're so deep, well coached. They got the MVP and Shea, and then you got the Boston Celtics, reigning NBA Finals champions. You got your Jason Tatum's, you got your Jaylen Brown, you got your Kristaps Porzingis, you got your Derek White, True Holiday. They're 1 through 8. There might not be a better team than the Boston Celtics, except for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They defensively, offensively, these teams will match up so well. That's why it has to be a 7-game series. But in the end, I believe in parity in the NBA over everything else. The Oklahoma City Thunder is your 2025 NBA champions. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder to win it all. We got a couple of more comments from Remorse for Trail here. He says, I still can't understand why they fired the head coach. Apparently he was going through issues with the GM, Calvin Booth, but then they let go of the GM as well. It would make more sense if they kept one and let the other go, but to drop both of them at just 4 games left in the regular season, it is kind of mind-boggling. Remorse Betrayal says, as a Indiana boy, I want to see the Pacers go far. I got the Pacers going to the semifinals, but I don't know if I can pick them over the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Cleveland Cavaliers are really damn good. He says, do I think they will? Not really. Fair. I think they're like one piece away, maybe a coaching change away, but I think that the Pacers are a team to watch because they're young. They can still get better. Tyrese Halliburton shut up a lot of the haters this season, so I would believe in them. Keep watching your Pacers. I think the Pacers could be good. I think if they make the right moves in the offseason, they could be in the mix very, 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 very soon. I think they could be like a top 3 seed next season. Even with how they are now, if Tyrese Halliburton continues to improve, Nembhard and Mathurin continue to improve, I think they can be even better. So don't sleep on the Indiana Pacers. But that is my prediction. I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Boston Celtics in the finals. And in the finals, Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 over the reigning NBA champions, OKC. Your NBA champions for this season is my prediction. And finals MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He gets the MVP, NBA Finals MVP. Let's go, OKC. Let's go. Would not mind if I'm wrong and my Lakers make it to the NBA Finals, though. Lakers and Celtics. But if that happens, yeah, the Celtics are probably going to whoop our ass. But I'm gonna stick to my preseason picks. My preseason picks still look good, so I'm gonna stick with it. We got Remorse Betrayal with one final comment. He says, I'm more impressed by him playing a game and then being in the crowd during WWE live event. That is true. This man, he's a dedicated wrestling fan. And Remorse Betrayal says, I want LeBron to win a ring. He's got one more chance. I think he plays one more season with the Lakers to kind of officially pass the torch to Luka, give the full season of Luka and LeBron just one more time. He's got one more season in him. And I think his last season is going to be his 23rd season when he officially becomes the longest tenured player in NBA history. But that is my prediction for the NBA playoffs. I hope everybody is enjoying the NBA playoff opening weekend like I am. I see Boston and Orlando right now. I'm looking at highlights of Pablo Banchero, who's playing very well in this game. He had 19 points in the first half, and I'm seeing like all of his highlights right now. I want to give you like a an update on that score, but they're just showing me all the highlights of him just balling out on Boston in this game. The game is on right now on ABC or ESPN, and Boston is up 63-56 with less than 6 minutes left in the third quarter. So we'll see how that turns out. I think Boston gets the win there. I said in my predictions, I think Boston wins the series in 5 games. So we'll see if that pans out. But that is my predictions. That is my preview for the 2025 NBA playoffs. I appreciate y'all if you're watching us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember, show your support the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up. Share this video with all your NBA fans. And I'll be back probably at the end of the playoffs to see if I was right, to see if I was wrong, and to talk about who wins the NBA playoffs. You know what? I'll actually be back for the conference finals. Conference finals, we'll do another Tru Heel Heat Check. Whether I can get Chris or not, I'll do another Tru Heel Heat Check to talk about the final 4 of the NBA playoffs and who, if I'm right, I'll be bragging, and if I'm wrong, I'll be not. So my final 4 prediction is Cleveland versus Boston in the East. In the West, Lakers and Oklahoma City Thunder. Please, Lakers, don't get bumped in the first round by Minnesota. I would hope. Follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat. Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Best place to support us when we're not live here on the wrestling channel. Go over to the wrestling channel because we're going live at 7 p.m. Eastern time for WWE WrestleMania 41 Night 2 watch party. Romeo will be there. The True Jaw Josh will be there. I believe Top Guy JJ will be showing up as well. So join us for that. And join me here on Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment because I will be live for probably tomorrow. I'm gonna hope. It's been a crazy week. I've watched so much wrestling. I'm very tired. I have not slept that much because I have kids and I gotta take care of them. But I'm going to try my best to be here on the Sports and Entertainment YouTube channel because we got to talk about Daredevil Born Again Season 1, the finale. I'll be back for that. That's the next time you'll see me on this channel. Appreciate y'all if you're already subscribed, but if you haven't, hit the subscribe button. We just went over 850 subscribers here on our second channel. Appreciate that support, but tell a friend to tell a friend. We talk about sports. We talk about entertainment here on THH Sports and Entertainment. But until next time, we got one more comment. Power Drive Finisher. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I know you've been in the background. Appreciate you. But we'll be back to talk about Daredevil Born Again. We'll be back to talk about Power Book 3, Raising Kanan Season 4. But join us on the wrestling channel for our watch party for WrestleMania 41 Night 2, and I'll be live on the Tru Heel Heat Wrestling YouTube channel tomorrow, 12:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with the good brother Nate Milton of the NWA Podcast and Post Wrestling to review WrestleMania 41 Night 2. So until then, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. This has been Tru Heel Heat Check number 14 with the 2025 NBA Playoffs preview. I am signing off until next time.